Hello everybody, this is my Mod 8 for FERPA. My name is Luke Reardon. I'll be presenting as a principal to my staff today. So first off, what is FERPA? Very briefly, it stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It is designed to allow access of data to students and parents of students while also protecting them from data being released to third parties. Now I say third parties because technically the parent is a second party. And there are many instances where it can be released to parents and law enforcement in that instance. So this prevents them from people receiving it and then sharing it on after that. So real quick, we're going to hit on the equal opportunity. So I'm going to jump down to the bottom and kind of go out of order, but this equal opportunity states that a state may not turn down any student living in the state, including undocumented. What I mean by that is undocumented students who may be illegals in the country or here on a green card. So jumping back up, so they are not required to report undocumented students unless they are a police officer. Now, some resource officers in schools are police officers. So the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996, Section 287G, allows if there are a registered police officer acting as a school resource officer, then they are allowed to report it, but they are not required to if they are not. So FERPA requires districts to maintain the confidentiality of all personal identifiable information in education records related to students. There are several exceptions where they do not need to keep it confidential if in instance of a school shooting or any emergency situation. Judicial order or law issued subpoenas. So other things that are not as serious, like the SAT or ACT data, is not required to be turned over to authorities, but you can return it to the second party, like parents or higher up schools or things of that nature. So access to student records should only be allowed if the requesting agency has a valid court order or subpoena in compliance with FERPA or immigration laws or regulations. So, problem that we're running into right now is the FERPA laws came out in 1984, like I said earlier, and there are hundreds of educational data breaches occur annually. So, FERPA has not exactly kept up with the times. And there are many different instances where information is being leaked or things are being hacked because of the online age that we live in. So states score low among privacy organizations, so sensitive information that are not protected by federal law is being leaked. And I think of things just recently in my educational career. I look at like a Quizlet. I don't know exactly if it is protected all the way through FERPA or if not, but it requires things like a birthday and parent email. We don't exactly know where all that information is leaking to. So FERPA changes can make following privacy laws confusing. So trying to keep up the digital age, are over 100 different implements to this FERPA law that have been, like I said, implemented, and it is making it more and more confusing and away from the original state that it was implemented in for. So K-12 privacy regulations should match school needs. So companies providing for schools needs to follow school regulations. So anything we're purchasing, any online data source or any online accesses that we are providing for students need to be following FERPA regulations and hopefully protected by FERPA. So we are responsibly implementing tech, so we need to make sure as a education system that what we are implementing is being protected by the FERPA Act. So clarifying a few laws. In case of emergency, schools can release student records to designated personnel without parent consent, things like law enforcement. FERPA has become out of touch with current data-driven laws, so it's becoming confusing, like I said in the last slide, and our educational leader, if you may, helps to clarify and improve understanding of student data privacy. No one can release information to third parties, so if you release it to law enforcement in case of emergencies, they are not allowed to share that on if asked. So we look at different things like surveillance cameras in school. Now, surveillance cameras are constitutional, but there are certain circumstances where you cannot use it that protect their privacy, such as locker rooms or bathrooms. They are not allowed to be used for unreasonable searches. The Electronic Communications Privacy Act and state wiretapping laws prohibits the intentional interception of an oral communication unless consented by. Now this goes into the single person, so if it includes any other students that they are not consenting, it has to be omitted. Disclosed information to guardians must be directly related to the student. Like I said, directly to the student and not any other parties involved. If multiple students are involved, their students must be redacted. Law enforcement, it must be school informant unit. So here are 8 different reasons or 8 different ways to ensure that we are FERPA compliant. We need to raise FERPA awareness, like what we are doing now, by educating everyone around. Confirm that FERPA applies to you. Myself as a teacher, and myself as a principal, and yourselves as teacher, we are all required to conform to FERPA laws. We need to know the rights, protections, and exceptions. We need to choose compliant vendors. Vendors as such things as online resources. We need to make sure that they are following FERPA laws, and we need to know that we are required that if we do allow those vendors that we are responsible. We need to train all school employees. We need to implement compliant policies and procedures with FERPA and encrypt files and emails. We always need to make sure that we are saving our own butts, so encrypting and adding that extra layer of protection is always a good thing. Implement other prevention tools. We need to always stay vigilant, so we need to be careful with vendors. School is responsible for what vendors do with data, like I said earlier. So if we allow a platform that does not protect students' privacy, then we are at fault. So we need to make sure that we are. We need to know when to release and withhold records. So parents own FERPA rights up until they're 18, but if that student is being if that student is a dependent of their parents still financially, and for tax reasons, then the school can decide whether or not to release information to the parents. So different types of data. So it is important that data is managed appropriately throughout its entire life cycle. From the time that we start collecting data of the student, it is important that we keep it, hold it, release it to the right sources, and when it's time to actually get rid of it and redact it, we need to make sure that it is cut off appropriately. FERPA does not require a life of retention, but schools will often have their own policies. Schools will have their own policies when it comes down to data retention. It could become more cost effective to get rid of data. It could also, and just after a certain amount of time, somebody deceases or anything like that, they can choose to be rid of them, but they will have their own policies. Now, it's important that data is properly constructed or destructed so that it is completely unreadable and cannot be accessed or used for unauthorized purposes. So when we get rid of it, we have to get rid of it properly. And here are a list of my references.